put on anything new. So in this stage, I will paint this Indonesian puppet. It's called wayang. I have sketched it, and I usually use this rubber paint. So yeah, let's try to paint it. I think I will use this synthetic brush because it's a cellulose watercolor, cellulose paper, so it will be, it's not a cotton one. I need to use a bit synthetic, which is not really absorbing so many water. And yeah, let's get started. So initially I will paint. There are a lot of detail in wayang, but let's try to make it more simple, and let's get started. So I will initially start by painting this because this is for postcard, so it's a bit small. I hope you can follow along together well. So yeah, I start with Daniel's matte color, so it's a bit opaque. I think for the doll it's really suitable to have the opaque color. So this is from Daniel's Smith. If you guys like a watercolor, I normally share a watercolor tutorial in my account. Oh yeah, this. I start by painting them in wet on dry because it's not a cotton paper, so it's a bit hard to paint in wet on wet technique. But wet on dry is more simpler. It's like only coloring. You can, people who don't really have background in watercolor, they normally start with wet on dry. So start with the ear. And yeah, this is called wayang. So wayang is a basic Indonesian puppet. I took this a challenge of making 640 postcard challenge. So I have painted several ones, but I might change again. But yeah, I need to do it step by step. And let's see. Puppet normally has a really bright color, so I follow along the reference photo because a lot of detail, a lot of pattern. So I use this small brush because this is A6, so it's a bit small. I like to use it to paint together in the pattern, and because it's watercolor, so we need to paint from light to dark. So yeah, this is the pattern of the wayang in watercolor. I was planning not to paint in detail because if it's in detail, it's like photocopying. I want to get the essential of the wayang sense, like they have this, and then the figure of the face and how it looks like, and how we paint looks like a wayang and make it looks like a wayang. And what I come up is wayang has a really bright and primary color in most of the pattern of the cloth, so it's better for us to paint it like that. And there are intricate batik pattern in it, but we need to simplify them and make So in this technique, it's only wet on dry. It's really hard in the initial part because we just starting, but later on you guys can see how it will turn out step by step. And for this, yeah, it says this color and it's a red. I quite like traditional art. It makes us, sometimes when doing the painting with the food, it makes us art block because we keep painting it, then we are sort of having a boring sense, like, oh, I keep painting this all the time. So sometimes it's better to change the subject, what we want to draw, so we can get a fresher idea of what we want to draw. It's a bit different. So in these days we have been surrounded by any new art that is very instant, right? As you can see, but traditional art makes us appreciate that art is a process and not an instant way. And learning watercolor itself makes me wonder, like, do people has loosened the idea of appreciating art? But I believe that if you keep practicing, someday that the art of that you have been practicing will turn into something. So like me, I keep painting watercolor as my main subject because I feel like it's not easy medium. Some people say it's easy, but we need to play with light and in the water, so it's not it's a bit challenging as well, especially if you want to be expert in it. There's a wet on wet technique, and with the several paint and the detail of the colors, and some people use this color or copying other color. But if you want to explore, it's really interesting with the watercolor itself. So we get closer, so only just a little bit like this, and yeah, later we need to make the pattern of the batik itself, so we need to be patient. Why do I put yellow as the initial one? So I think yellow is the basic color, and then we will get the red later. Don't push too much, because sometimes when you push too much, it will blend together, the color will not come out. You need to be really careful, and slightly goes lighter and lighter and lighter, and yeah, see, and this is like bit blue. I put blue because it will have a dark area, later is a black area, but I like to go from light to dark. So don't really put black in the initial stage, because later on you cannot really undo the dark color, because watercolor goes from light to dark. You have to be really careful painting them. So yeah, like this. I need to put yellow in it. I think drawing a puppet in watercolor like this is a bit challenging because it has intricate details and not many people painting them. I was taking the challenge to paint them and see what it feels like and how it looks like and how we want to capture it. That is very, very important. Yeah. So I think, yeah. The subject itself is so difficult. Maybe later I will use a color pencil to emphasize more. Because if not, we cannot really get the detail of the wayang itself. Yeah, it's a bit challenging. And use the blue for the dark part. And yeah, okay. And like this. And like this. And because there is a red, we can emphasize, we can make layer over it to make it darker and get a transition of the batik color in the wayang. See, it's become sort of like, because it's red and the undertone, and we layer it again with blue, creates sort of like purplish color. Beautiful. And also because it's the pattern of the batik, so we can put more pattern in it. And on top is a dark bright red. I think for the color of wayang, Indonesian tradition one, it has a really basic color, like red, yellow. It doesn't have really purplish color. So because it's a traditional art, very limited color palette. And I'm making this postcard challenge, so I want to share to you this postcard challenge with you, and will let you know the result at the end of the challenge. Very interesting part. Step by step. Okay. So yeah, you guys can see it close up, right? So even though it looks like abstract, later I think I will put more details with pencil color. Yep, yep. As the postcard is a bit hard to print in detail, but I'll try my best to draw in detail. Hope I can achieve and turn it into a good painting. But if not, it's an art, so I want to make it like the imperfect impressionism. And yeah, I hope I can achieve that in my painting. And I want to share with you guys how it blends together, because it's in dark bar, so we need to put the dark area in this area. Right. In the dark bar. So let's make this into this in dark bar. So you can see. don't think I can finish this in one part. I will let you know and continue again maybe painting wayang part 2 in the next video for the more detailed part. Yeah. So yeah. Like this is the watercolor. So a bit basic color, not really detailed because later we will put detail with pencil color. I really adore art, especially the traditional art and Indonesian or Malaysian, Singapore or European. They're really interesting to paint. And hey, enjoy this live. You can give like. So it's mixing my pattern. I need it to like water. I need this stuff. So yeah, see? Very intricate one. And it's okay. Later we will make it better in our color pencil. This is the initial part of the wayang. Step by step. Using the brush. And maybe let's start make it more detail of the part. Yeah. So yeah, and then here. You see? Kind of. This is how it goes. But step by step, guys. It's sort of like random. But later with the color pencil we can make detail of this. For the first time, I feel like wayang is a bit difficult subject because it's very intricate pattern, and also the face is sort of like a pattern wise as well, so we need to pay attention of the detail, and with the watercolor it's not really easy one. But yeah, let's try. For now it's like this because it's still pretty wet. I will continue in part 2 after it's dry, and you can keep watching this. I will save this recording in my YouTube so you can see later. Bye bye.